Salut. Hola. Ciao. Merhaba. Darava. Konnichiwa. Ni hao and namaste. I hope you're doing well. Because I am. You might be able to hear the wind in the background. Because I left my window open. But I think that it's quite relaxing. But anyway, long-time viewer, shoutouts to Milo. He suggested I should do a Positive Affirmations video again, so I got some on my phone, which I'll read to you. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy, alright? Here we go. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Conscious breathing is my anchor. Conscious breathing is my anchor. Conscious breathing is my anchor. You are loved just for being who you are, just for existing. You are loved just for being who you are, just for existing. And I know sometimes it might not seem like it, but even though it might not seem like it, there will always be people or circumstances that show up, which will tell you that you're loved just for being who you are and just for existing. Although, I gotta say that I do think that whatever you put out, you receive. So, as long as you're putting out love, you'll eventually receive it as well. But you just gotta keep on unconditionally giving of yourself, even if you don't receive anything. You'll eventually get to a point where you receive what you put out. The chance to love and be loved exists no matter where you are. The chance to love and be loved exists no matter where you are. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. I got another story for this one. One day I was just scrolling through my Instagram stories and I saw this advertisement for, it was basically just a public workspace, and I thought it was quite intriguing, so my goal was to go and visit it someday, but I didn't have the courage right away to do so. But after a couple of days, I decided to go and visit, and right away, everyone was very nice, and the work atmosphere was very good and very positive. And the owner, I ended up becoming quite close to, actually, and they launched an app which would track your habits, like your sleep and your exercise and food and stuff like that, and you could share your stats with friends. And so we ended up working together, and I ended up making a sort of extension to their app, which was awesome, and I ended up presenting it. There were like 20 plus people that one day when they were launching their app, which was awesome. And yeah, courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Reminds me of that time. Make way for the unprecedented and watch your reality rearrange itself. Make way for the unprecedented and watch your reality rearrange itself. The perfect moment is this one. The perfect moment is this one. I think a lot of people have a bad habit of wanting to do something, but you always end up thinking too far ahead down the line instead of taking the first step. So it's always better to just take the first step and see where you end up instead of thinking about something too much. Like, I also was thinking about starting, an ASMR channel. And then I thought, like, oh, what are the people gonna think about me? But at the end of the day, as long as you start something, you'll probably fail, but you'll get better at it. So as long as you're not afraid to fail, which is completely normal, I think you're doing a good job. I am deliberate and afraid of nothing. I am deliberate and afraid of nothing. Your life is about to be incredible. Your life is about to be incredible. Now, I used to practice gratitude, but I've not been doing it as much as I did in the past, but every now and then I sort of stop myself and think and look around and try to consciously practice it. you know, because everyone has something negative, I feel like, or everyone has something that they're yearning or that they're focused on, which they don't have. But I think it's important to stop yourself and to realize how much you do have. And once you make that shift, you'll quickly realize how good you have it. And how incredible your life is. But more importantly, how incredible your life is going to be if, say, you're planning something or you're working towards something. Which is also important because I think it's going to help you keep pushing your goals and your dreams. Because let's say you're working towards something over a 2-year period. Take exercise, for example. If you only focus on your goal, once you get there, you're not really going to be satisfied. In fact, I think you're quite never going to be satisfied. But you can still be grateful for how far you've come. And especially if you compare yourself to a couple months or a couple years ago, I think that's gonna give you a lot of motivation to keep pushing forward. Something I always told myself when starting out was that the physique and the condition I'm in right now, nobody can take away from me, and that really helped me keep on going forward because I just realized how far I've come and that I can keep pushing myself further because I know where I started. Who you are inside is what helps you make and do everything in life. Who you are inside is what helps you make and do everything in life. Your perspective is unique, it's important, and it counts. Your perspective is unique, it's important, and it counts. I like this one because no matter how much you say dislike somebody, I think that it's important to consider other people's perspectives. Because there's always something you can gain from their perspective, which you might not be able to see yourself. Which is why I like to have conversations with all kinds of people. Especially with older people, but also younger people. I feel like the perspective, especially was in summer camp. The 8 to 11-year-olds' perspectives was always completely different than the adult people's perspective. Like, there could be something super simple, but they would go crazy about it. Whereas the adults wouldn't, because they were already familiar with it. But I think that they help you realize how great something can be, because their perspective is so much different than yours, because they're not as familiar with pretty much everything as you are. Every day above Earth is a good day. Every day above Earth is a good day. Nothing can dim the light that shines from within. There's another similar one that is, if there is no enemy within, there cannot be an enemy without. Which I think is very true, and it also goes to show that your outside world is dictated by your inside, or your reality forms from the way that your inner thoughts are formed. You must do the things you think you cannot do. You must do the things you think you cannot do. Something that can help you achieve goals you don't think you can is, imagine yourself in the future looking back and being proud of yourself for doing something you could have never imagined. And imagine what kind of a story you could tell if you did something that you could have never imagined. I think that that's something which is so powerful, the human mind, because technically you could do anything, but your mind is the only thing that's standing in your way, right? So it's quite interesting, because my father doesn't like cooking for himself. He couldn't imagine himself cooking, because he says it's too time consuming and too much effort. But it's just an excuse, in my opinion. But he can't really grasp the beauty of cooking, I feel like. so many more examples, and even extremer examples, but I mean, perfect example is a person like David Goggins, I feel like. And look at the story he's telling. Which, in turn, is inspiring millions of other people on their same journey. And they're now doing the things that they think they cannot do. So, as I said, I think you could do anything. But you have to use your mind to your advantage. But nowadays, a lot of people are programmed to think that they cannot do certain things because of how they were raised or certain things they've read online or in books and stuff like that. But I think it's important to realize that you have this power, especially as a human being. It's probably more difficult if you're, say, some type of animal. Now, I'm not trying to say that animals are lower than humans in regards of development and stuff like that, but in fact I think animals and humans are very similar, but what I think separates them is all the opportunity and the freedom you have as a human being, especially with the power of today. You can learn anything, you can do anything, you can influence so many people. You just gotta take action. And I'm gonna leave you with that, alright? So I hope you could enjoy the video. If you did, let me know. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And I'll see you tomorrow, alright? Take it easy, take care, and I love you. Bye bye.